and welcome to the Unsure to Unstoppable podcast. My name is James Dunn, and I was adopted. I grew up in a household with an alcoholic father, and I was arrested for attempted armed robbery when I was 17 years old. Why do I share that with you in this podcast introduction? Well, because while you may not have gone through any one of those specific set of circumstances yourself, you've had your own version of them, whether it's a loss of a job, a divorce, you were picked on as a kid. Something in your life has created this little voice in the back of your head that's made you doubt yourself, question yourself and what you're truly capable of. As a podcast host and as a mindset coach, what I do is I help you tell that little voice in the back of your head to shut the fuck up, get out of your own way, and move from unsure to unstoppable. And how I plan to do that is each week I'm going to bring you stories of inspiration, motivation, my own challenges, my own struggles, as well as those of others who've gone through challenging times, rough times, things that most people maybe just didn't think they could ever get through, but have not only gone through them, but come out thriving on the other side of them. And through the sharing of those stories, I hope to help you see that you're not alone in this journey called life. Whatever you've gone through, whatever challenges you're having right now, it doesn't matter. You are a fucking badass and you deserve an amazing, incredible life, and we're going to help you get there. So with that, enjoy today's show. Hello and welcome back to the show. So this week, I got a topic that came up during a conversation I was having with a friend recently. We were just having like a little catch-up call, haven't talked to each other in quite a while, both on this journey of entrepreneurship and talking about some of the challenges we face and some things we're going through and supporting one another, all that fun stuff that, I always encourage you to do is reach out, find people like this that you can have in your life. And we're having a deep conversation. And I talked about essentially burning my business to the ground and starting it over, moving forward into 2024, really changing up what I've been doing. I love the business that I do. I love what I've learned over the years and what I'm growing into, but there's been a lot of hit and miss in terms of, the success of it. I haven't had the consistency that I've wanted to have with it. It hasn't brought me the total amount of joy and peace and happiness that I've wanted to have. And I share this with you because I had to trust my gut that it was okay to restart, almost, if you will, to pull back on the things that I have been doing and give myself permission to absolutely change. Now, I'm not changing the direction I'm going in terms of what I'm coaching on, what I am, what my main mission is. It's just more of how I'm going to go about that. And I had to give myself permission to trust my gut to make that decision. And it can be a very scary one. If you've put a lot of effort, you put a lot of, work into building something a certain way, they have this thing called a sunk cost. And I think people get really caught up in this sunk cost of, I put so much effort into this. Now I have to keep going this direction because I've spent so much time, I've spent so much energy, I've spent so much effort building it this way. There's no way that I can stop now. There's no way that I can pivot. There's no way I can change directions. I just have to keep going down this direction because then that means everything else in the past would be a waste. But it's never a waste. All that investment, all that time, all that energy is always learning. It's always growing. It's always something that has fed your mind and your soul and your experience and taught you things. And like I said, what I'm doing is I'm not shifting that far off of what I'm currently doing. I'm just, again, changing how I'm focusing the main part of my business. And just to give you like an example, the primary method of my business over the past has been one-on-one coaching, a little bit of group coaching here and there, some things like that. But what I'm doing moving forward into 2024, big news, breaking news right here, right now, is I'm really scaling back on the one-on-one coaching calls. I'm going to minimize those. I'm going to maybe only take on a couple of clients, 2-3 clients at a time. I'm not going to expand it into a big number of clients. I'm really shifting my focus heavily into group coaching. I've got a program that's going to be launching probably around January. So you're the first to hear about this. First time I've said it publicly, but yes, there's something coming in January that I'm going to be launching, and that is going to be my primary focus. That's going to be the foundation of my business moving forward. Everything is going to be built off of that because that is the part that I love doing the most. I enjoy one-on-one coaching. I'm good at one-on-one coaching. and I get great results with my clients in one-on-one coaching. But the group coaching is what I love the most and where I want to be spending the most of my time. And I kind of got caught up in this idea of you've got to do it a certain way. And I had to give myself permission, as I said, to step back from that and say, you know what? No, I don't. I can do it any way I want to. This is my business. And you can do the same. You don't have to go down any path that anyone else has laid out before you. You don't even have to go down the path that you thought you were going to go down. You can change your mind at any time. You can learn to trust your gut, believe in your intuition, believe in this higher calling, and letting spirit, God, universe, whatever, guide you down the path that is most directly meant for you. And I got a couple of examples because this also popped up in a TV show, a few different things. I'll give you the first one, but the first one was a TV show that I happened to be watching last week. It's a new TV show. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I was looking for something just completely mindless. And there was this TV show that I saw called Snake Oil. It's hosted by David Spade. It's a game show. And essentially what is it's almost like a Shark Tank where they have these products that are being pitched, but you have to figure out which one is the snake oil, which one is the fake product. And they pit two different things up against. So they give you product A and then they give you product B, and you have to try and figure out which one's real and which one is fake. And there was a contestant on there, and they have a celebrity that joins them. It's kind of like their advisor almost, or somebody they can just kind of bounce, conversation back and forth with to talk to. But they had this contestant, and he was on there, and this product A, they listened to the pitch about that, and they're like, oh, that sounds like a crazy product. And they listened to pitch about product B, and like, well, that one sounds like kind of a realistic product. And so the crowd's all cheering, product B, product B, product B. That's the real one. Product A is a fake one. Don't pick product A. And the celebrity advisor, they're saying product B is the real one. Don't pick product A. For whatever reason, this guy's like, you know what? I hear you all, but I've got to go with product A. I think that is the real product. And literally everybody in the whole place was like, oh, you're crazy. You're nuts. I can't believe you're doing this. This is insane. Well, come to find out, that contestant was right. They were the only person in the whole, what seemed to be the whole audience, the whole, panel. They were the only person that believed that was a product, and they went with it. They trusted their gut. They felt, they followed their intuition, and it paid off big time because they ended up going on and winning the show. I guess, I don't know. Matter of fact, I haven't even finished the full episode, but they got to continue going, and they got a lot more money in their bank on the show because they trusted their gut. And again, I want you to start trusting your gut. I got two other examples that I have either heard of recently or that I remember from memory. The iPhone. Steve Jobs, when he came out with the iPhone, he was looked at almost initially as this crazy guy. He's like, what are you trying to create this thing? It's a phone, and it's a camera, and it's a web browser, and all this stuff is like all wrapped into one. Oh, and a music player. Yeah, that's right. So you get these four things. We just wanted a phone, because that's what phones were prior to that, really, was they were just phones, and you could do some text messaging. But now he was going to combine the phone, the camera, the music player, and the web browser, and put this all together in one thing. And people thought he was nuts. They didn't really understand why he would want to do that. But now, literally, I've got one right here, and there's so many millions and millions and millions of people, probably billions even, all across the world that carry iPhones with them daily. And it's because Steve Jobs had this vision that he trusted his gut. He went with what he felt was right, and it changed the world. Another example I can give you, very quick one, is Henry Ford. Henry Ford, when he was asked about, or like when people talk about this whole idea of asking people what they want, because that's then what you should give them. There's a lot of this belief in business that you always go out and you ask your potential clients, well, what do you want? What do you want me to get for you? What is the problem I can solve for you in this scenario? What would be the best thing that you could ask me for? And he didn't do that, because his famous quote is if I'd asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. But he knew that the car was this thing that he was going to build. He was going to build this thing nobody ever heard of before. Nobody believed in. Nobody trusted this idea. It's like, what the fuck is this thing? Like a motorized vehicle? Like, no, we got horse and buggies. That's what the fuck we use. But he trusted his gut. He trusted his intuition. And now we have cars all up and down the roads. You drive a car. You ride in cars. Cars are massive, pieces of transportation. That's what gets us from point A to point B. More often than not is a car, a bus, something, a motorized vehicle. And that's because somebody like Henry Ford trusted his gut. He believed in himself, believed in his vision, went against what common sense said in terms of
business.
If
you found value in this episode, please share it with your friends. Give us a 5-star rating on iTunes and anywhere else you have to hear it.
Before they
we are just trying to celebrate life, make it better for everyone, and sharing these messages with them just helps them believe in themselves and what can be better than that.
Ben Affleck. You may or may not realize this, but they actually wrote the movie Good Will Hunting. They didn't just star in it. Matt Damon wasn't just a star, and Ben Affleck wasn't just a star in the movie. They actually wrote that movie because they were getting tired of not getting the roles that they wanted. They kept going out, auditioning, were getting bit parts here and there and doing okay, but they weren't getting the type of roles that they wanted to get. So they decided to write their own movie. And then as they went to shop it around and were sharing the script with people, they were getting so much feedback from people that said, you can't write scenes like this. You can't write dialogue where it's that long and all this just back and forth and talk and talk and talk. There's got to be a little more action. There's got to be something else going on. It can't just be this, type of scenario that you've got set up here. And Matt and Ben just said like, oh, okay. And then just went about their business and kept their movie the way that they believed in it, the way that they felt that it should go. And they kept shopping around and they finally got the deal that they needed and that they wanted. They made that movie. And it went on to become a big success. And it actually ended up getting them their very first Oscars. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are both Oscar winners, not for acting, but for screenwriting, because they wrote the movie that they wanted to write and they ignored what everybody else said. They trusted their gut. They believed in themselves. And this is the message I want to get across to you today is trust your gut. Believe in yourself. You're going to get a lot of advice from people along the way and on your journey and through this thing called life from people who mean well. You're going to get advice from people who are really looking out for what they think is your best interest. But what they're doing is they're coming at it from their filter, from the lens that they see the world through, not what you have experienced, not what you know, and not what you feel is right in your heart. You've got to learn to trust yourself above and beyond what anybody else says, no matter how successful they are, no matter how much they love you, no matter how much they care about you, no matter what else is going on. You have to trust yourself first and foremost. Okay. I've shared examples with you, but I guarantee if you look back at your life, you'll find in your own life where you've done this in the past, where you've trusted yourself and it's worked out for you. And the most important thing I think with this is at the end of the day, you will never have to look back and say, oh man, well, what if I had followed my gut? What if I had trusted my intuition? Because I know for myself, there's been times where I've listened to other people's advice, done what they said I should have done, and then it didn't work out the way that I wanted. And I have to look back and say, well, I wonder what would have happened if I'd done it the way that I wanted to. I wonder what would have happened if I had done it the way that I felt I should have done it. I didn't trust myself. I didn't believe myself. I didn't give myself enough credit in being able to make that decision on my own. And I don't want you to fall trapped to the same thing that I have fallen trapped to. I don't want you to have to go through that what if phase ever again. Maybe you've done it in the past. Maybe you have doubts or fears that, have overtaken you and allowed you to not trust yourself. But don't let that happen again, because here's the thing. The more that you learn to trust your gut, yes, you're going to fail. Yes, you're going to fall down. Yes, things are not always going to go the way that you expect them to go, but you're going to learn how to fine tune your gut. You're going to learn how to fine tune those spidey senses and your understanding of what's going on and what feels right to you and what doesn't feel right to you and what is fear and what is anxiety and what is just holding yourself back mentally, again, versus something that's just not right for you. You've got to do this over and over and over, and you will get better and better and better about making decisions for yourself. So trust yourself, trust your gut, listen to the universe, listen to God, listen to whatever that voice is that's in your head that is telling you what you need to do. Not the little scaredy cat voice, not the little voice that says, oh gosh, don't do this. This is going to be a bad idea. Oh, this is terrible. Fuck that little voice, okay? Kick them the fuck out. Trust your soul, trust your heart, trust what you know to be true for you, because in the end, it will never, ever lead you astray, my friend. All right, get out there. Have an amazing fucking day, and I'll see you next time.
If you found value in this episode, please share it with your friends. Give us a 5-star rating on iTunes and anywhere else that you happen to hear it. We are just trying to celebrate life, make it better for everyone, and sharing these messages with them just helps them believe in themselves and what can be better than that.